welcome to another edition of the Digicel Sports Show right here on Islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Baston, and joining me today is none other than my son, Marco, as my co-host, Juggling Jay, is off the island. Well, first of all, Marco, your first appearance on the Digicel Sports Show. You excited?
Yes, very much so.
Very much so. You're a big-time footballer, so we'll get to the football results. We have the elections coming up for the president of cricket board, and so many other sports took place over the weekend. Yep. But first, let's get a message from our sponsor, then we'll come back and we'll talk about the current sport that you like, football.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Marco, football is a sport that you really enjoy.
Yes.
I wouldn't say you love it. You really enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Or you love it?
Love it.
Love it. What do you love about football?
Everything about it. Taking time out during school and...
Anytime out of school is good, isn't it?
Yep.
Your team, PHC, top of the table.
Yep.
Had a draw with Devonshire Cougars.
Yeah. It was this weekend.
Yeah. They had beat them, about a week ago on a Monday up in Somerset.
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
3-0.
Yeah.
4-0.
3-0.
3-0.
Yeah. I couldn't do it again. I remember last year they played Devonshire Cougars in the final of that same Dudley Eve at Devonshire Rack and lost 1-0. So maybe Devonshire Rack is not a good place for them to be playing Devonshire Cougars. No? All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get a roundup of the football over the weekend, and then we'll come back. Premier Division football's action at the police field yesterday. Robin Hood defeated Social Club 2-1. Antoine Russell gave Robin Hood the lead in the 7th minute, with Shakir Smith doubling the lead in the 34th minute. Gerazino Simmons would pull a goal back for Social Club in the 84th minute, but they could not find the equalizer. In other Premier Division action yesterday, it was North Village Rams 3, Somerset Trojans 1, Devonshire Cougars 1, PHC Zebras 1, Dendy Town Hornets 1, Crossroads 0. And on Saturday night at the BAA field, it was Flanagan's Onions 1, Boulevard Blazers 2. In First Division play, St. George's Colts won the Battle of the Colts as they defeated Devonshire Colts 4-1 at Police Field. The visiting St. George's Colts got 2 goals from Jarazino Bassett and 2 from Donovan Thompson, while Carl Jones scored the lone goal for Devonshire Colts. In other First Division action, it was Hamilton Parish 1, Southampton Rangers 12, Paget Lions 4, St. David's 0, Wolves 2, Island Rangers 2, BAA 1, Somerset Eagles 1. So that was the roundup, but now we have to go through the picks that Juggler and I had last week.
Yes.
So we'll start off with the Flanagan's Boulevard game.
Yeah.
We both picked Boulevard. Boulevard won 2-1.
Okay.
So we both got a point there. We both took PHC over Devonshire Cougars. That was a draw, so we didn't get nothing there. We both took Robin Hood over Social Club. Robin Hood did win that, so 2. We both took Dandy Town over Crossroads. Dandy Town beat Crossroads 1-0, so we got that. And we both took North Village Rams over Somerset Trojans, which we know Somerset lost 3-1. Then we turned to the First Division. We both took Wolves. That ended up a draw with Island Rangers 2-2. We both took Southampton Rangers, who beat Hamilton Parish 12-1. We both took BAA, but that ended up with a draw with Eagles 1-0. We both took Paget over St. David's, and Paget won 4-0. And then Juggler took Devonshire Colts, and I took St. George's Colts. And St. George's Colts won 4-1. So I was 1 up on Juggler this week, so I'm back up by 2.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, did your team play this weekend?
No, we got rained out.
Yeah, rain out. It was a sunny Sunday afternoon.
All because rain. St. John's Field got flooded.
Oh, okay. So anywhere when your game will be replayed?
No.
No?
Not as far as I know.
Oh, okay. Training is
Last
when
year.
yeah. So, all right. Now, tomorrow night will be the elections for the president of the Bermuda Cricket Board. Two people are running for the position, and that is Lloyd Smith and Gershon Gibbons. Yesterday on another particular show, I do a radio show with Ian Rollins inside Sports Talk Radio, got a chance to speak to both candidates about what their platform has been for the future of cricket. Let's get those two interviews from Inside Sports Talk Radio.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gershon Gibbons. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good,
All is well?
as well as could be expected.
Tough week coming up.
Tough week? He seems real cool, calm, and collected there, you know?
I try to be.
You try to be? So you put your name forth for the title as president of the Bermuda Cricket Board. Why so?
I think it's my experience that I've had working with the board, also working for my club, Western Star Sports Club. I think I've developed the experience and tools in order to help try to lead the Bermuda Cricket Board back to being very competitive.
Now, you've been on the board, what is this, your second term?
Yes.
Second term. What new things would you bring as the leader of the cricket board if successful coming tonight?
One of the focus areas that I really want to put a lot of attention to is player development and getting cricket back in the schools. I think it's very important for our development of our game and the longevity. It's very important that the Bermuda Cricket Board work with the Ministry of Education, the Department of Youth, Sport and Recreation, in order for us to make sure that the youngsters that we do have are interested in playing a national sport. And as a national sport, we need to be treated as a national sport within these schools, and making sure that we, meaning the Bermuda Cricket Board, help the schools and the Ministry of Education to improve.
Now, we've heard that for both cricket and football and plus other sports. But how do you plan to implement it? Because we always say we want to get it done, but it never seems to actually get off the ground. So how do you plan, what's your plan to do just that?
First of all, one of my attributes, I believe, is my tenacity. I'm a results-oriented person, and if I say that I'm going to do something, anybody that knows me, I'm going to try my hardest to do it. And I know in order for the survival of cricket in Bermuda, we have to get youngsters involved. I think the cricket leagues that have been going on for the last 10 or 15 years, we have seen some good youngsters come through. And the best youngster that we've had so up to date is Delray Rollins. He's played in our youth divisions, our youth leagues. He's played at Cotmatch, he's played for PAC, he's played for Bayless Bay. And if we can get more individuals, girls and boys, it's not just boys, it's girls and boys, as playing cricket, we can hopefully improve our status within the cricket community. Because playing internationally, it's very competitive. We are right now presently in Division 4, and I presently am the high performance chairman. So I am responsible for making sure that we improve our performances and get back up to try and look for promotion to Division 2, to Division 3 and Division 2. And that's something that over the last year since I took over as the chairman that I have been an advocate for, and making sure that we have the facilities, we have somewhere to train, and that we can improve. And that gives our youngsters something to aspire to. And that's very important, something to aspire to, and to let you know that sports is very important to the overall development of you as an individual. As one of my statements is saying, is it's good for the long-term objective of the Bermuda Cricket Board is to develop young players and good cricketers, and also good citizens for Bermuda.
Right. I agree with that. The problem is that our youngsters right now are seeing the adults kind of not producing the best. I'm talking about behavior-wise, the game itself, the approach to the game. So how do we address the senior league to make sure that what you're trying to do with the youngsters is kind of stamped out as they get into that league?
Part of the overall development,
Mm-hmm.
and we're looking at long-term development, is we need to make sure that our coaches,
Mm-hmm.
the people that are coaching from a youth level and getting all the way up to a senior level, are at a certain standard. I think that not having just in years past coaches were just coaches of ex-players,
Mm-hmm.
and not knowing the science behind and the standards in which coaching should be addressed. One of the things that I would like to put in would be that for all our under 8 and under 11 coaches, that they have at least a level 1. Our under 14s to our seniors have at least a level 2. And what that does is bring consistency throughout what is being taught in regards to standards.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we can improve our senior league as we go forward, because everybody would know that there's a certain standard that has to be achieved.
Over the years, it's been one of my I would say pet peeves is that very rarely do you see executives at matches to see what's going on at matches. Now I know because you were involved with Islandstats, you were one, you were out, you and Neon. But would you encourage more of your executives to be around cricket a little more so you get a hands-on when you're in the office having your meetings? You can all relate to what's being talked about.
The majority of the persons on the executive are persons that go and see cricket from different clubs.
Right.
So because you don't see me doesn't mean I'm not there.
Right.
And I think one of my most important roles, if I'm elected as president, is that I will be seen.
Mm-hmm.
I will make sure that I am heard.
Mm-hmm.
I will also make sure that I hear from the clubs, the players, and all stakeholders that in the cricket community, which is very important.
Is it about time that we have, or let me ask you this question, amongst the people that sit at the table, is it about time you now have a player representative on the executive and not just club reps?
That's a good question, and that would be something that I would definitely look and think about and look to put forward. But as being a part of the high performance, I'm dealing with the players, I'm dealing with the coaches, I'm dealing with everything around the national setup. So I guess from my experience, I am deeply involved, and I'm hearing what is going on and getting their feedback. I see games on a Sunday, I see games on a Saturday. I listen to what's going on in the community, and I think I have some ideas that can help, hopefully, to bring back cricket to a substantial level.
As the leader, and you like you said, you've been involved in the executive for 2 terms. What's been the biggest struggle for you outside of being high performance chairman? What's been the biggest struggle for you?
In what way?
Administratively.
Administratively, I think one of the issues is that it's definitely a balancing act between society.
Mm-hmm.
Society has changed since I first came on
Right.
to where we are now. I think that's a very serious thing, which also dictates policy, and the way that we operate is what's going on and making sure that we are keeping current in the way that we are doing things to improve our sport. I think that's one of the biggest challenges that I have. Like you said, one of the issues that has been in the past has been the actions of some of the players
Yes.
that have made us famous or infamous, as I should say.
Right.
But that's all for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have some very good players, and it's about getting the message out about the things that we do and the positive things that we do. It's not always about what's going on bad at the cricket board or what's going on bad on the field. What about the positives of a Delray Rollins, of a Jordan Smith? we had Jacon Edmonds and we had Stephen Otterbridge that went away to school that came back and played for Bermuda, played cup match, and are good influences in the society of Bermuda. These are the things that we need to make sure that it's being heard. The improvement of the youth leagues, we see it every summer. I know one of the things is about playing more cricket, but it's also a lot of other factors. It's not just we could just have the leagues and we play and we want to have more cricket. But what happens a lot during the summer is that people could go on vacation.
Right.
So part of me getting it, working with the Ministry of Education and having schools as a major focus is looking at how can we help with the school leagues and how can a club adopt a school
Right.
and help the school out. And that from a club point of view, if I see 4 or 5 kids at 2 or 3 different schools and I get them to come play for my program, I'm helping to improve the level of cricket and I'm hoping to make it a longer season so that they play more cricket. One of the major things that I would like to put in the schools and introducing to the schools would be indoor cricket. I think that's another avenue that we need to explore for the simple fact every school has a gymnasium. So we ain't got to worry about the weather. We can go inside and play indoor cricket. Just recently I was just watching Cricket 360 on ESPN, and they had a indoor World Cup in Dubai. That's simple. That's something simple that we can look at trying to implement and get people, boys and girls, to at least play the game.
Okay. From an executive standpoint, you guys would know when, and I'm only going to use the example you just used, the Indoor Cricket World Cup. Why don't we know about these things?
We need to just follow up with more information and know what we are trying to do. One of the things that I think maybe from an administrative point of view, we try to do too much.
Okay.
And sometimes putting yourself thin makes it that you can't accomplish anything.
Right.
So we need to look at what can we do to get people involved, how the games change. Now the games basically changed to a 20-over game.
Right.
You know, that's the most exciting. It's short span, 2-3 hours, it's over, like getting to a football game, getting to a basketball game. But 50 overs and test match and the longer format is still important in the development. But we have to look at what works for our society, because we are competing against football, we are competing against basketball, sailing. We're only an island of 60,000 people.
Right.
We have to be realistic in what we are trying to accomplish. And it's different things that we need to look at as to how can we make our sport one of the better sports.
Your platform that you're going to present, it's nothing new, to be honest with you, from a perspective of local sports in Bermuda. And I mean all 36 government bodies. We've had numerous people on the show. They pretty much said the same thing to the youth programs. Bermuda was in the World Cup in 2007, correct? So that's 10 years this year. Cricket has been declining. Each governing body is fighting for the same thing, from sponsorship to youth programs to national programs to senior national programs. You're also fighting to keep your young people, I mean, you bring them in between the ages of 8 and 12. When they hit 16, it ventures off. And that's across the board in Bermuda with our national programs. Cricket was the pinnacle for Bermuda in its sports and its history, meaning that they made it to the World Cup in 2007. We need, what people are saying is, you're getting the accolades for these individual awards that you present over the last 5 to 7 years on TV, radio, print, you name it, websites. But the programs from, let's say 16 and up, we don't have that here in Bermuda anymore. And that's across the board with a number of sports. I'm not picking on cricket, but I'm saying cricket today. How can we get that back? Yes, I heard what you want to go to the schools. We want to do that. But to me, the challenge that we have in Bermuda is keeping the young people from age 16 and up, keep the interests there. there is nothing showing forth where our senior programs are going to compete overseas. We have the youth programs in all sports. You have it in cricket right now, what you want to do. You want to have indoor cricket. You want to do that, great. But the game is played outside, yes, 20 overs. Where is the game being structured for the senior players when they hit 16 and beyond? I call them seniors, but really young men. To show them that there's something there for Bermuda, for these young players to stay into cricket.
One of the things is for some of the youngsters that are in between the ages of over the age of 16, there is opportunities for some of them to go away to school and do things like that. And that's one of the things that the BCB doors do now.
Correct.
And that's what we're trying to encourage them to do, that, it's something to aim for, that cricket can help you just as football and any other sport can do.
Right.
But we feel, like you said, we are facing the same challenges as football because, and any other sport, any other team sport,
Right.
the amount of youngsters under the age of, I would say, 14, they're not in Bermuda.
They're not, I'm sorry, say again?
They are not in Bermuda. They leave.
They go off to prep school.
They go to prep school in the United States, Canada, England.
Right.
So if you look at it, the number of teams in the senior league, in the youth leagues, under 14 and under 17 for soccer, right, have diminished, right? And football has a much wider pool of players than cricket.
Yeah, correct.
So when you transfer that same age group into cricket, the numbers are going to go down twice as much. You know what I mean?
So you're fighting the same battle as
every other sport.
That majority of the athletes, when Earl and I were coming along, didn't go to prep school, but they're going to prep school now. Not just at 14, but at 11
younger. Yes.
and 10.
Yes.
So that's the challenge that our sport is fighting in Bermuda. Are we able to bring these young people back when they're 12, 13, and 14 to show them programs on the international side to compete against other countries?
And that's one of the things, I think one of the things that we have to work on within the Bermuda Cricket Board.
Gotcha.
One of my things is to the reestablishing of the under 15 national team, because that helps with the development of the international development of our players, playing either down in the West Indies or even any other tournaments that we can find for them. That helps with the under 19 World Cup preparation. It also helps to move through to our senior our senior team preparation. Just look at it from the high performance side right now. The majority of the guys that have been representing Bermuda over the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years, most of them have come through our under 19 or under 15 national team. So if you look at the makeup of it, we are benefiting from it. It's just that with every team that goes, you're only going to really get 2 to 3 that will go on to the next stages.
Wow.
I mean that's in sports in general, because when you look at a successful team, right? You have your homegrown players, right? You get about 2 or 3 a year, or that will come into your team. So you're gonna have to bring in other players to supplement that, and that goes for soccer. Like when you look at the Premier League or even any of the regular Premier Division teams, soccer teams in Bermuda, you have a few teams have youngsters. They may bring in a couple of others, but the teams that have good youth programs are still there. PACs, the North Village, and of course Dediton. What do they have? The same thing is in common. Somerset's another one. They have youth coming through at all times, and that's the key. You have to have, from a national program, you have to have youth coming in. You have to show them something for them that they can prosper, which is not just playing cricket and being recognized as a good cricketer, but what else can we help them with?
Exactly. But the difference is with the clubs, you got their great senior programs that are doing well. I'm saying from the national perspective, you got the youth programs, but when they hit 16, what are they going to aspire to be? How can they represent Bermuda? There was a time when you had youth programs that represented Bermuda in international cricket. We know, and no disrespect to cricket, just of course with all our sports, we have to have more international matches.
Yes.
And that's a cost factor.
Yes.
And I'm sure cricket's just as expensive as football, probably $60,000 for 3 days, 4 days, something like that, right? the fact is that there is nothing there to show these young people when they hit 16, even the ones that come back home and say they want to play for Bermuda after 16. Where is the senior programs? There was times when you and I were growing up, Australia used to come from Bermuda, New Zealand used to come, West Indies. Yeah, I know the cricket game has changed, but we don't have the international
One of the things,
games.
one of the things about internationally, when we was preparing for Division 4 last year, the amount of support when we played Canada in our practice games of the national stadium, the support wasn't really there for us. The criticism by the public is there. So why, as a player, why do I want to play if I'm gonna be criticized by my own countrymen?
And that's where the administration has to come in and say, we're going to fix this.
And that's one of the things that as the high performance chair that I want to make sure that we as the high performance chair at this present time,
Right, got you.
you know, and hopefully I can go on to bigger and better things. But even if I'm not successful, and if I'm still the high performance chair, that's something that I still want to look into to make sure that representing your country means something. And we have to have some pride, some country pride, and that's one of the things that I've said from the beginning as taking over the high performance side is we want pride.
True.
Have pride for your country, but your country's got to have pride in you. The two have to work hand in hand together.
And you're absolutely right. Before we wrap up, and you're right about that. My point is, you work hand in hand. Show the people saying, show us something. They're saying the same thing. Show us something. We won't criticize. We'll go there and support you. You know that. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing for a cricketer right now, let's be real, it's cup match. Their aspiration is like, okay, cup match. What's after cup match? You know you're supposed to go to the next level.
And it comes back to the point that you made earlier. It's the same funding that everybody's fighting over.
Yep.
And if without the funding, there's any limited amount of things that you can do. And if you want to have all these programs for our youngsters, and you want to expect us that we're just going to automatically go on the world stage and compete, it's not going to happen.
Nope.
We have to have balance, and we have to have the resources in order for us to do these things.
And you're right. So when you and I and everybody else was coming along, we played the hardball at the age of 10. So why are you playing for softball? A sponge ball, use an example.
Mm.
Go back to the cricket ball. I'm not a cricket person as an administrator. I'm just saying this is what people are talking about.
Mhm.
Okay, to make that very clear. So why can't we do that? If 2020 is the cricket, why can't we say we're going to focus on 2020? We knew from 2007, from the 50 over match, that Bermuda's going to be fighting in the 50 overs or 20 over cricket. We should have selected by then a team of 2020 and a team of 50 overs. But we didn't.
Mm.
We went on the laurels of saying we made it to the World Cup. Unfortunately, we got knocked out in the first round. Yes, we played against India and everybody else. But the fact is, we've been down here since. Yes, with 60,000, but we should have focused on what is our mandate going to be? 50 overs, 20 overs.
Mm.
Now we're like 50, 20, 8 over, sponge ball, boom, boom. And it's a challenge. And that's why I think cricket is suffering. And we're not giving back to the players or offering them things that they can aspire to be after the age of 16. Yes, we're getting criticism from the public because they see nothing different. And that's been like that before you came into the administration. Let's make that very clear too. And this present, you got to show something for the next 4 to 5 years. I don't know how long your guys' mandate is, 2 years, 3 years as a president. But that has to be put forth. And I guarantee people will up on the bandwagon and say, I'll come support you. You know that. I know. That's why Western Stars is successful.
Mm-hmm.
Answer?
Okay, I agree with you.
Final question. If you are not successful on Wednesday night in the leadership position, will you still consider staying on board if nominated from the floor to be on the executive?
Of course I would.
It's passion.
I did this because I love the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no problem to be whether successful or unsuccessful, whether I'm on the cricket board or not. I still love to make sure that whoever I'm Western Stars or any club that I'm going to be helping is being successful and trying to do the right things. And that's my mandate within myself, is to make sure that the people that I'm around is continuing to grow. And the sport continues to grow, and to see them go on to bigger and better things, that cricket can help them be a better person.
Okay.
Okay.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you'll get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio right here on Power 95. Again, November 27th, 2017. We're getting close to the end of the year, Ian. And now joining us is the other candidate who will be running on Wednesday evening at the Bermuda Cricket Board annual general meeting for the presidency, Mr. Lloyd Smith. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, sir.
Lloyd, we have to start at the top. So you've put your hand up for a second time.
Yes.
To be the leader of one of the two national sports governing bodies in Bermuda, which is cricket. What are you doing differently this time, or what is your platform this time differently from the last time that you were unsuccessful? So how do you plan to change it this time around?
Well, guys, you know, I know you guys look at a lot of cricket. What we've been doing so far has not been working. And you know, as people say, doing the same thing, looking for a different result, hasn't worked. So we have to go and look at cricket differently. We have to look at exactly what we can do to change the perception from the public as well. You know what I mean? So one of my biggest things, and one thing I've been letting all the clubs know, is that we need to make sure that the Bermuda Cricket Board is accountable to its stakeholders, accountable to the club as well as the public. So we need to basically get in, do a strategic business plan, projections for 3 to 5 years when it comes to schools, domestic program, international program, and basically let the public know, as you know, because we need buy-in from the public as well as the clubs to let them know exactly what we're looking to do. So when things happen, when we know that we're going on tour or the domestic league has changed, everybody knows exactly where we're going and what we're trying to produce in the next 5 years. So that's the way I've been looking at running as president. Right. And that's what I've been telling the clubs when I met them.
In your campaign, obviously you've been around to meet with the clubs. How receptive are they to that idea? Because you got to also change them who have been voting for the same thing over and over and over. So have they been open to change?
Well, it seems like a lot of clubs actually are looking for change, which I'm hoping that's a positive for me. You know what I mean? But it's been enlightening to understand and at least hear back from a lot of clubs. A lot of clubs feel that they didn't have a pretty much a say at the board level. Mm-hmm. So listening to the clubs is one of the things that I told them that we'll definitely do. You know what I mean? Change from just having a semi-annual and an annual meeting to really actually try to meet the clubs quarterly, and basically not just a meeting just to basically come and say this is the policies that we're putting in place, but a meeting to come and say, hey guys, what you guys feel, what you think that we should be doing. This is what we're projecting for the next 3 months to be doing, and how do you guys feel about it? So hopefully, you know, we can get a change and get a different I would say understanding from the clubs, and also get them on board so that when we're looking to do a change, it's them on board running with us, and we know that lease is going to be implied at all the clubs.
I asked Gershon the same question I'll ask you. Would you see fit to have a player represented at the executive level for the player's message to be also expressed at the board level?
I hadn't considered that. That's interesting, but which would be nice to have a player on the board. Mm-hmm. But I think if we wouldn't have to go that far if we meet with the clubs on a regular basis, because the clubs do present, you know, they do always send a representative of executive and most likely the captain to all the executive meetings. Mm-hmm. So right now the players pretty much don't have a say because we don't have enough meetings. But I figure if we're having more meetings and we're actually coming to the clubs asking for the feedback, that, you know, having a representative on the board probably wouldn't be necessary. But hopefully we can get this going.
Mm. You know what? I'm intrigued by Lloyd. Let me say this, right? And maybe because it's the first time you ran and you learned from that episode. But he's coming in with like a wealth of confidence, which is great, and maybe from your first experience, because what you're delivering, I think, is what people want to hear, and I give you kudos for that. You've done your homework. The fact is that people are saying they want something new, and it's no secret. I've said it to Gershwin for the last 10 years, because it was last World Cup 2007. We've been downhill, and you're saying you want to bring something new to the table. What you outline, what you want to bring new, and I wish you well in that too for Wednesday night. If you are elected and you say you want to put this mandate in place in 3 to 5 years, can you see that happening? Because it's important, because the fact is that people, the public, I'm saying the people, are fed up saying there's nothing after the age of 16 for our supposed senior programs in cricket.
Yes, but I'm saying, Ian, if you go back probably, I would say 7 years ago, when we had the under 13s going down to St. Kitts and playing cricket. We had the under 15s playing regularly internationally on a system that they played every other year. We had the under 19s going down to Garfield Silver's tournament on a yearly basis, and that was keeping our youngsters interested in playing cricket. So if we backed away from that for the last 6 years, you can't expect our youngsters to be motivated to do anything if they're not got nowhere to aim for and say, okay, look, guys, I want to stay in this because I want to go down to Barbados. I want to go wherever the under 15 tournament's going to be.
And you're absolutely right. A guy just texted me and he said, what happened to Bermuda? Suppose we go into the West Indies to better ourselves in cricket. And you answered it. I didn't even ask, but you answered it. Can we see that happening under your tutelage?
Yes, definitely. That's everything is about finances. Let's be honest.
Right.
And it's hard for everybody. It's hard for all the associates right now. Is finding finance and getting as much money as they can from. Everybody's trying to get as much money as they can from youth and sports. Right. Everybody's trying to aim at the same sponsors. But like I said, after we get, if possibility, I'm gonna say this after I get in. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I could do it right away, but you got to look at the funding that we already get and see how we could do things and do things slightly different than what we've been doing it before. I know everybody loves international competition, but my whole thing is let's deal with our domestic program first. Let's get that straight, and the international game will come. I'm looking. I hate to say this, but you know what I mean. But the level of cricket in Bermuda, it really shows, and it shows cup match. It shows at different other sporting events, like Connie games and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We are looking at 4 o'clock and saying, hope the game gets past 4 because we don't want these guys going back in again. So we have to boost our domestic program. I know everybody the cricket needs is everybody's gonna say school programs. We should be in the schools. Yeah, we should be in the school, but we need to go to school for a program. So my whole thing is I want to go into schools as well, but my program is I want to go into schools with a similar program that the rugby went into schools with. I don't need to burden the gym teachers with any more work. I want to take my coaches, the Bermuda Cricket Board coaches, ex-players,
Right.
some of the legend players, get them involved in the schools and let them go in and do some coaching. So we have a different aspect of how we're doing things in schools, not just letting the PE teachers that some of them don't even know much about cricket. And expecting them to groom our boys, that's not how we do things.
And I blame the Department of Education on that, because you don't bring in a teacher that doesn't know cricket. That's our sport.
Our national sport.
National sport on top of that. So I blame the Department of Education. Yep, I said it. Next. Oh, I just go on if you want. I'll continue. But Lloyd's point is correct. He's just going to bring his own players in.
Well,
Unheard of.
well, I mean, if you look at it, I think that's probably the best fix.
It is.
If anybody wants to fix something, you're gonna have to do it yourself. You don't wait for someone else to do it for you. Lloyd, what has been some of the concerns that the clubs have expressed to you in your meetings with them?
Well, one of the concerns is actually understanding our funding. Exactly what's being funded and from sponsorship, from ICC, from youth and sports, and really actually the money's going. So one of the things that I telling clubs is that I can't give that answer right away, but within the next year I should be able to at least tell you exactly how things are going financially with the board and exactly what fund comes in. We get the youth has Hitchcock, we have Logic. So just be able to tell them that, okay, look, this is the amount of money we get in, this is how we use it, and it's surprisingly that as a stakeholders they don't know already. The board hasn't provided sufficient amount of information to them. So that was one of the things that the majority clubs are looking at.
Right. I heard you talk about we have to fix the domestic problems that we have, and everybody knows that we have quite a few domestic problems, especially at the senior level. How do you address that in your first year?
Well, like I said, I would say I come from old school, so I think that we need to play more cricket. I think that I understand that we represent Bermuda in 50 overs and 2020, but I still think that the long form of the game is needed. Our youngsters ain't getting the chance to bat long, so when it comes to telling them stay at the wicket because 3 guys just got out, they don't know how to. They just so used to just basically going out and looking to make quick runs. So I believe that our season should start earlier. We should start our season in the first 2 weeks of April and run it as long as possible to the end of September. And as well as I think that we should be playing open cricket at the start of the season and playing 2020 closer to the last and knockout after cup match. Because everybody knows after cup match. Let's be honest. Cup match is pretty much the top of the game, and after cup match, the players started to get they lose interest. So you got to keep the interest.
County teams still really
right. So you got to keep the interest. So people like 2020. So hopefully that if we push 2020 during the later part of the season, do some knockout games after cup match, that we'll keep the players interested. So that's how I'm looking at the domestic game.
One of the biggest problems that we find for sports in Bermuda is that we're always fighting to keep the players into one sport. But cricket and football are fighting for the same players that play for their same club, but 2 different sports. Do you plan, if you were to be elected, to meet with football to have those open conversations amongst the executives, amongst the presidents?
Well, I think we have to. I think we have to work together, football as well as cricket. One of the things, like I said, I'm looking to start the league earlier in April, and to do that, I would really need the help of BFA because we use the same fields. So I'd have to get to them early. Hopefully I can persuade them to give us a low break on a couple fields. We don't need all our fields. We don't need all the fields, but just a couple fields that we can get an early start to our season. So hopefully that the clubs will be online as well, where they can play a couple of their home games away during the end of the season. So yes, I definitely think we're gonna have to work together.
I'm gonna ask this question. I should have asked this on the National Sports Center. As we know, it's been the talk of not being one of the best wickets, but as we all know, the more you play on it, the more bad it's going to get. If you were elected president, could you see your executive pushing games on a regular basis at the stadium, so when we do play internationally at that wicket, it's not like we're the away team?
Yes, I would like to. I know that it's a financial cost that comes along with playing at the national stadium. I couldn't tell you the figures at the present moment.
Right.
And like I said, readdressing, looking at the how we're spending our funds. I would like to play more games. I hate to see that we're playing our first time we play on our national stadium is in a tournament. I think that we should be playing at least league games as well as knockout games at our national stadium. Like I said, one of my things is that hopefully that we can be playing more 2020 during the end of the season. I hope that we can play like 2020 games up there on a Saturday where we're playing one game early in the morning, another game late in the afternoon, and another game in the evening. So we can get 3 games in of 2020 in one day. So the field's being used, the pitches being used, and we're getting our money's worth.
Okay, all right.
Is there anything else that you want to share with us regarding what's on your agenda for Wednesday and how you're going to present your platform?
Like I said, I've been around to pretty much all the clubs. There's a couple clubs that I haven't been able to get in touch with. But my most important thing is understanding that we need to do something different. We need basically some accountability with the stakeholders of cricket, which it's the clubs and as well as the public. I just think that we in cricket need to understand that domestic cricket needs to be our first priority, not international cricket. And I think we fell back to international cricket being like our first priority at the Bermuda Cricket Board, not domestic. And I think that's what needs to change. We need to look at how we handle cricket differently, with our domestic game number one, international comes after we improve our domestic game. So that's one of my goals, straightforward.
Earl asked the question. I'm gonna let him ask it because it was a good question. That was the final one you asked for Gershwin.
If you were not successful in the position of leadership, but you were nominated on the floor for another position in the executive, could you see yourself accepting that?
I haven't heard Gershon speak. I don't know what he's looking to do. Like I said, I'm a person that feels that what we've been doing so far hasn't been successful, and I think that we need a change. So if he can convince me that we can have a change and we can do things differently, I don't mind helping him out. Like I said, I've been off the board for the last 3 years since the last election when I ran against Lloyd. So I don't know exactly what's 100% what's going on, but I keep my ear to the word. I listen to see what's going on, and I'm still involved in umpiring and doing other stuff in cricket. So if I'm asked, probably on a committee role, yeah, I will probably help out. I doubt if an executive, because you know how the executive is staggered over 3 years. So any other position is treasurer and club rep. So as a committee member, I probably would if I was asked.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck come Wednesday night. Anything else you want to add before you go?
No, that's pretty much
Because
it.
basically, I do want to say this, and I want to say this publicly. We offered you both the opportunity to come on and speak to the general public, but in that meeting on Wednesday night, it's up to the clubs to decide who they want as the president and follow that person's direction. So I want to say to Gershon, thank you, and you too, Lloyd, thank you very much. Good luck Wednesday night, and we look forward to the outcome, and hopefully the cricket board can move in a new direction.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate the call to come up and let everybody know exactly what I'm looking to do.
Okay.
It's interesting. He's not shy. He's got a platform. I like it. And he's about business. And he's honest. He said we need to go in a new direction. And he made a good point, which he answered the question before I even asked it. It was basically his saying, we had our youth programs, the under 13s, under I think 15s, you said, and the under 19s going in the West Indies. 7 years ago.
The one thing that everybody fails to remember, you realize we had the under 19s in the World Cup as well?
That's right. How long ago was that?
That was just before the national team played in the World Cup.
So that was 2006 or 2005. I remember that. So, if this
where are those players now?
Yeah, but
I'm saying if his, you're correct with that. If he's elected, that's his mandate, that's his goal, to get that back there. And he's saying we need to go back down, visit the Caribbean,
Fix him first.
Fix him first. But give these young players an opportunity
Something to
say,
strive for.
to strive for. That's what I was asking Gershwin, what's going to be after age 16? But Lloyd's saying this is what we're going to go for. I know my vote doesn't count. I'm just saying what his said.
I don't even have one.
I didn't have one. Yeah, I didn't have one. I'm just saying like how he's delivered his messages.
So you're trying to say I should get you guys on the make a couple calls, a couple clubs, and make it slip in.
I think the door will be closed as we proceed towards it. So.
Ian and Earl? Okay, something's off there. But we wish you all the best, man.
Thanks a lot.
I'll have a cup to the window. How's that? A listening cup.
Yeah, we wish you.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, we come to the end of the Digicel Sports Show. You had fun?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, we have.
Okay. You'll do it again?
Yes, I will.
So you can push Juggler out of DC?
Yeah.
Juggler, you're done. Youngster taking over. Well, actually, he can take my place. I'm beating you up on the points, Juggler, so, he'll come in and pick the teams he needs to pick, and I'll win.
Yeah.
Yeah?
if you want to.
Anybody you want to say hello to?
Everybody.
I'll say hello to everybody.
Alright.
Alright. That's it from the Digicel Sports Show. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me today is my new co-host, Marco Baston. But Juggler will be back on the next show, hopefully. Don't have too much fun, Juggler. Good night.
Bye, Mommy.